third item, or fourth item being pulled is the approved transfer of funds from RDA 20% housing set aside to the city revolving loan program for home first-time home buyers.
I know that citizen Robert de Cochea has some words to say, but if I may, before you go up. I see that the purpose of the transfer of funds is to move it from low to medium income. Am I understanding this correctly? Where it would improve blighted homes and transfer it to assistance of purchasing homes?
Yes. What it is that the city of Calexico received first-time homebuyer funding about 2 years ago. And we hired an administrator that was administering the program for us. 2 of the loans that were approved and recommended by the administrator, when the home program conducted an audit of the program, found that 2 of the homes that were approved had been sold at a higher price than was allowed. Based on that, home stated that those 2 loans should have not been funded with first-time homebuyer programs. Therefore, they are requesting that the city of Calexico repay those funds back to the first-time homebuyer program. The options that the city has is to either use general fund or use the 20% set-aside from RDA, which can be used for first-time homebuyer programs to supplement these 2 loans that were made. The total amount is $205,000 according to the backup. The 20% housing set-aside is to assist low moderate income people. The first-time homebuyer program will assist low-income purchasers. And what we're doing is taking from one fund, transferring to the first-time homebuyer. That is a recommendation.
Are there any plans on how to replenish the funds that are being transferred?
On an annual basis, the City of Calexico Rate Development Agency receives funding from the tax increment, which is a 20% set-aside. And so that money will replenish through there, or the 20% set-aside. We do have an $800,000 grant that is pending to start for first-time home buyers. And until we make this transfer of money, the state will not allow us to start using the $800,000. So to answer your question, the replenishment would come from the 20% tax increment that we receive yearly.
And can the RDA make sure that the first ones that come in replenish those funds first?
Yes.
I'd like to table this item for more review. I'd like to see what we can do to recuperate, not recuperate, but to assist families that are here. We've just been handed a letter. I think Mr. Denicocha may have been wanting to talk about this, but there's a lot of areas, and I don't know if is this the southwest corner of Encinas? Right, Kitty Corner?
We have a lot of blighted areas.
But there is one house in particular that I see very often that it's Kitty Corner to Tony's Market, southwest corner of Encinas, that intersection. That house, I've seen the lady sweeping the sidewalk and sweeping the curb, and the house still sits on stilts. And the other day I passed by, and one of the stilts fell. That means that part of her foundation is just fallen off. And that lady still lives there. It's those types of images that I think we need to be able to assist before we move on and talk about this stuff. So I'd like to table this for till such a time where we have more information on what to do.
I would be more concerned in helping the homes that are already there that need help than even though it's equally as well, it's important to assist families to purchase a new home. But right now, we have a situation, as he mentioned, that it's the same home that we're talking about. I would think that that would take precedence of that kind of assistance with the fundings that are available and to help right now somebody buy a new home.
Council members, if I may.
Well,
It's not a matter of who we're helping. What happened here was we had two ineligible loans from Pot A. We need to replace the money. So if it doesn't come out of the 20% set aside, it'll come out of the general fund. So you have the choice. General fund or out of the 20%. There's no other means to replace the money. We need to replace the money. It was an audit finding, and the money needs to go back to the program. We erred, as a city, we erred. Okay? So we need to replace the money.
so
It's
then,
not helping, we can't use that 200,000 to help Joe Blow. That's not the person tonight. It's a way to replace the money. That's why I asked at the table, because I want to see if we're going to recoup those two loans that we made to those families. And if we're going to leave their homes, I want to do that before we start doing it. And I should have asked that of Rockland before tonight. But I want to make sure that if we did in fact lend them the money and they were not eligible, that we somehow recoup that $200,000 back to the city.
I'd like to clarify that. The people were eligible, they were low income. The loans became ineligible because the sale price of the home was higher than what had allowed. The city made a loan to each of them. There is a lien on the home. We hold second position. And at any time that they refinance or sell the home, the city will repay those funds. So there is liens on there. The second clarification that I wanted to share was that the redevelopment agency also has rehabilitation loan money. We have a grant right now for $300,000 that we are using to rehabilitate homes. We also have program income. These are repayments that we receive from people who sell their home. Most of our programs require a lien. We also have programs that will allow deferred loans for elderly and handicapped. Yet because of their income, they're not able to make a monthly payment to repay the loan. We do have people, I believe it's 35 to 50 people on a waiting list. We prioritize handicapped and disabled first, and then we go on to the other housing needs. We will contact the lady that lives at the corner of 5th and Encinas. But I will tell you that by experience, a lot of times the elderly do not want to leave their home. We try to convince them and tell them, look, you might as well live in a nice home that's healthy and safety for you, that's brand new. If we have to tear it down, we can tear it down and build new. When you pass on, your children will be responsible to pay back the loan. I personally have been told I don't want to leave my children a debt. But we do go out there, we do sell the program. And so we do have two programs. It's not taking from one to for the other. No. Our office is very active in applying for funds. And we have quite a bit of loan repayments coming back. In fact, on my backup, since 1996, we have made $8.2 million in loans for the first-time home buyer program. That's 445 loans. That money will come back to the city at the time they sell or transfer the property, and we have a few that are already paying back on a monthly basis. Housing rehab, same thing. I don't have the numbers with me on what the portfolio is, but we do have monies coming back every year. So we have built up a program that the city of Calexico for the next, I would say 5-10 years, will continue to have funds to come in for both housing rehab and first-time home buyer programs, and we will continue to apply for grants as long as the money is available.
I'd still like to continue to table the item until we get more information. With the explanation that you gave us, the clarification, I'd hate for a family to have been put in a home that they couldn't afford because the price was high. I mean, that doesn't make sense to me. That just tells me that they couldn't